Just like there's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday. I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa." Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here. In Russia, just referring to the war in Ukraine as a war can get you 15 years in the fabulous prisons made famous by some of the world's most famous novels. You think America's evil because we didn't nominate Margot Robbie for an Oscar? Just wait till you get thrown out the window of your very own dream house.
Bill Maher is tearing into woke celebrities like never before, and the spectacle is pure comedy fire. The sharp-tongued late-night veteran isn't just poking fun, he's blasting Hollywood's most fragile stars, ripping apart their fake outrage while exposing how quickly they push their ideals onto everyone else, all while staying totally insulated from the chaos they create. With each punchline, Maher rips the mask off their hypocrisy, showing how they preach endless sacrifice while enjoying comfort, luxury, and security untouched by the mess they stir. It's been years since Maher unleashed this level of heat on Hollywood, and the excitement is blazing. Because this isn't just another rant, it's a brutal demolition of celebrity self-righteousness. The intensity is scorching, turning this takedown into something more than funny. It's sizzling, scandalous, and absolutely impossible to ignore.
I'm confused by this political message. Vote for me because I hate it here. Now, does America have big problems? Yes, I've often cited the America Sucks list. Things like being 54th in the world in infant mortality behind Cuba, 19th in literacy behind Russia, 72nd in female representation in government behind Iraq. A lot of work to do here. And is it possible for a country to lose itself so much that leaving it is justified? Yes, but we're not there yet, not by a long shot, and we don't need quitters. We need people who will stay and fix it.
Bill Maher opened the segment with a scorching wake-up call aimed directly at America's celebrities and woke politicians, making it crystal clear they have no right to lecture the rest of us on how to fix the nation when they refuse to get their own hands dirty. He highlighted the obvious. It's easy to sit in sprawling mansions and sip wine by luxury pools while barking orders about what should change for the little people. But here's the reality. Words are worthless if you're not willing to sacrifice, pay the price, and dive into the grind of solving real issues. Maher unleashed the point with force, hammering home that America, flaws and all, is still a country worth fighting for, resilient, strong, and overflowing with opportunity, and no amount of whining, finger-pointing, or fake activism will push it forward. Only bold action will. He declared that what this nation desperately needs are people ready to take responsibility, step into the arena, and confront challenges head-on, not pampered stars waiting on the sidelines for applause while others do the hard work.
Maybe the problem isn't that America isn't worth defending. Maybe the problem is that lots of people today are entitled whiners who have no perspective and no idea how good they have it. 59% of self-identified liberals say there have been times when they considered leaving America for good, like after NBC canceled The West Wing.
Before we go deeper, hit that like button and subscribe. It may sound exaggerated, but Maher made it clear that it's painfully real. For years, we've watched waves of Americans loudly declare their dramatic plans to abandon the country over the flimsiest excuses imaginable. One of the most unforgettable moments came when Donald Trump won the presidency, sparking a parade of celebrities and everyday people swearing they'd flee to Canada, as if crossing the border was the ultimate act of resistance. Yet almost none of them ever followed through, proving those bold promises were nothing more than empty theater meant for attention. And it didn't stop there. Others threatened to run at the first hint that America wasn't bending to embrace every trendy ideology, no matter how ridiculous it seemed. Instead of staying to improve the nation they claim to care about, they fantasize about escape and call it activism, a hollow gesture dressed up as principle. Maher's point struck hard. Real patriotism isn't about empty threats or flashy declarations. It's about staying in the fight, facing tough realities, and helping to build America stronger every single day.
I don't get it. You want so badly for every immigrant to come to this country and experience the good life, but somehow it's so terrible you want to leave? And I see conservatives in Texas are talking secession again. They have 2 bumper stickers in that state. America, love it or leave it, and we're leaving it.
Celebrities and politicians have become experts at spewing contradictions, and Bill Maher wasted no time ripping their double talk to shreds. On one side, they endlessly preach that America should fling its doors wide open, insisting this nation is the ultimate land of opportunity and urging the entire world to rush in. Yet in the very next breath, those same voices loudly claim they're ashamed of America, threatening to bolt the second things don't go their way. The hypocrisy is outrageous. If this country is truly so terrible, why beg others to come here? And if it's truly the land of freedom, why act like deserters every election cycle? This isn't principled passion or noble debate. It's hypocrisy in its rawest form, a shallow act meant to look brave, but collapsing under its own lies. Maher nailed the truth when he exposed their so-called convictions as nothing more than stage performances, empty gestures built to protect their image, not the nation they pretend to defend.
Just like there's a long list of liberal celebrities who swear they'll go if a Republican is elected, and no one ever does. Miley Cyrus once said, "I am moving if Trump is my president. I don't say things I don't mean." Here she is looking miserable, having to endure America at the Grammys last Sunday.
And here's where the comedy practically writes itself. Despite all their loud promises about fleeing, these celebrities are still right here in America, living large and indulging in the very freedoms they claim to despise. Deep down, they know the truth. No other country on earth gives them the same spotlight, the same platforms, or the same endless luxuries that America does, and that's exactly why they never leave. So why the dramatic, "if Trump wins, I'm gone" speeches? The answer is obvious. It was never about conviction. It was always about optics, about signaling virtue, about grabbing applause from fans while chasing headlines. Their theatrical outbursts make them look bold on stage, but once the cameras shut off, they're still here, basking in fame, fortune, and the safety net only America provides. Maher shredded the bluff with precision, proving these weren't acts of courage at all. They were scripted scenes for political theater, nothing more than hollow drama. The only loyalty these celebrities truly hold is to their image, and Maher exposed it with devastating force.
I guess she flew back from Tajikistan. In 2016, Eddie Griffin said, "If Trump wins, I'm moving to Africa." Apparently very slowly, because in Trump's 4 years, he only got as far as Van Nuys. George Lopez once said that if Trump won, he won't have to worry about immigration. We'll all go back. George Lopez still here.
This is exactly why it's nearly impossible to take celebrities seriously when they climb onto their soapboxes to lecture ordinary Americans about politics or morality. Their lives look nothing like ours, shielded by millions, hidden away in sprawling estates, flying private jets, and retreating to villas around the world whenever life in America dares to feel uncomfortable. Meanwhile, regular people carry the real weight: mortgages that keep them awake at night, rent that eats every paycheck, grocery and gas prices that squeeze budgets dry, and the daily struggle just to keep families afloat. For everyday citizens, politics isn't a stage for virtue signaling. It's survival. It's whether the bills get paid and if opportunity exists tomorrow. That's why real Americans put their trust in leaders who battle through policy fights instead of pampered stars whose greatest burden is choosing which resort to vacation at. Their polished speeches crumble instantly because when reality hits hard, they'll never face the struggles we do. And Maher hammered that truth with ruthless precision.
Then there's all the TikToks telling Americans things like,
Fucked. I think the new American dream is to leave.
I'm 18 years old and I escaped America.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to escape America. That wall we're always debating isn't to keep you in.
And this is where it turns into pure comedy. Some of these self-proclaimed social justice warriors act as if America is no different from North Korea, painting a picture so absurd it borders on satire. They rant like people here are trapped, stripped of choices, and forced to live without freedom, when the reality couldn't be more opposite. Nobody dreams of immigrating to North Korea. Nobody is desperate to raise families, chase careers, or build a future in a nation where freedom doesn't exist, and escaping means risking everything. Meanwhile, the very country these activists bash non-stop, the United States, remains the #1 destination for people across the globe who crave liberty, safety, and opportunity. That's the irony Maher hammered home. If America is truly as awful as they claim, then why is the whole world still fighting to get in, not out? Their exaggerated comparisons collapse the moment they meet reality, and Maher's words landed like a thunderbolt, leaving no doubt about just how hollow and ridiculous those claims really are.
The New Republic just ran a story about the vulnerable minorities who want to flee America, including the author, a gay man trapped in the dystopian homophobic hellscape that is New York City. I wonder if he knows that there are 66 countries where just being gay is a crime. Cute story in the news last month. Burundi's president called on his citizens to stone gay people, and not in the good way. Wow, suddenly the don't say gay law doesn't sound all that bad.
When the conversation shifted to the LGBTQ+ community, Maher dropped a reality check that couldn't be ignored. America is their strongest shield, their loudest stage, and their safest haven. Few places on Earth offer the same level of freedom, protection, and recognition as the United States does for this community. From powerful legal safeguards and visible political representation to thriving cultural spaces and opportunities, LGBTQ+ individuals here enjoy rights that many other nations wouldn't even dream of granting. In America, they can live openly, speak freely, and build lives without the constant fear that still defines daily existence in countless corners of the globe. So why the endless talk of leaving? Where exactly do they believe they'll find greater liberty? Even in Europe, often painted as more progressive, discrimination and flawed policies still exist in ways that America has already moved beyond. The truth couldn't be clearer. For all its flaws, the US remains one of the safest, strongest, and most empowering nations for LGBTQ+ people. and Maher's words struck like lightning. The very freedoms they demand are already right here, whether they admit it or not.
And Uganda? Oh, they don't just give you a ticket for parking in the rear. You can get the death penalty for it. In China, they have the death penalty for almost 50 crimes. And in 13 countries, atheism is punishable by death, and 61 impose restrictions on women's clothing, so bring a scarf. According to Amnesty International, paramilitary groups killed the government's critics in Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Venezuela, and arbitrary detentions are widespread in Cuba, Ecuador, El Salvador, Nicaragua. If you're wondering how that's just like no cash bail, it's not.
This is exactly why people from every corner of the globe fight tooth and nail for the chance to come to America. Because even with its critics, this nation still shines as the ultimate symbol of freedom, opportunity, and the promise of a better life. It's the one place where you can speak your mind without fear, carve your own path, chase your dreams, and even build financial independence if you're willing to put in the work. That's the essence of the American dream, and it's why millions risk everything just for the chance to step on U.S. soil, leaving behind families, possessions, and entire lives for that single shot at something greater. Yet, ironically, so many of those already here can't see how fortunate they are. Instead, they're busy complaining, trashing, and tearing down the very country that gives them more than almost anywhere else in the world. It's like watching a spoiled millionaire's kid throw a tantrum over one missing toy, blind to the mountain of gifts piled around them. Maher's point cut deep. America may not be flawless, but it provides more opportunity, more freedom, and more possibility than nearly any other place on Earth. And those who refuse to see it are willfully ignoring reality.
In Russia, just referring to the war in Ukraine as a war can get you 15 years in the fabulous prisons made famous by some of the world's most famous novels. You think America's evil because we didn't nominate Margot Robbie for an Oscar? Just wait till you get thrown out the window of your very own dream house.
Bill Maher's takedown of the so-called woke mob sliced through the noise with devastating force, exposing just how shallow and performative so much of today's activism truly is. Those flashy protests that block highways, burn flags, or vandalize monuments might create viral clips on social media, but they solve absolutely nothing for the real problems ordinary Americans face every single day. Meanwhile, celebrities and politicians sitting in their ivory towers keep shouting about oppression while basking in fame, fortune, and the freedoms only America provides. Hypocrisy that Maher wasted no time shredding apart. Regular people don't have the luxury of wasting hours on empty theatrics. They're too busy grinding to pay mortgages, fighting to keep food on the table, and rushing to work on the very roads these activists block for attention. Maher reminded everyone that true change doesn't come from hashtags, empty slogans, or clout-chasing stunts. It comes from sacrifice, conviction, and concrete action that actually improves lives. And the irony couldn't be clearer. America, with all its flaws, is still the nation people worldwide are desperate to enter, not escape, instantly shattering the hollow stories of those who claim otherwise while enjoying every privilege this country gives them. Maher closed his fiery message with a bang, ripping the curtain back and leaving no doubt that the entire charade had finally been exposed for what it really is.